My two big scars. In my life, I have gone through two strong moments. They are scars that I will never forget. The first was when I was around 4 years old, maybe less. I lived in Bogota with my aunts, my mother, and my cousins. I remember that day very well. Despite being so young, it was 9 or 10 a.m. when they were preparing breakfast for us. It was scrambled eggs with bread and chocolate. My mother just turned off the stove and told us, I am going to serve the chocolate, but it's too hot, so wait until be able to drink it. After that, she poked the mug in the middle of the table. As soon as she left the table, I took a mug between my hands and dragged it to the edge of the table. In my mind, everything was planned, which was a big mistake because the mug slipped and fell on me. To put you in context, my clothing was one-piece pajamas, those of the bobito style. So immediately after the accident, they removed my bobito and threw the water in which they were peeling the vegetables for lunch on me. And that's how the great odyssey began. They took me in a treatment for hospital. They passed me from one place to another. Due to the severity of the burn, they couldn't treat me, and that is how at 7 p.m. they admit me in the Simon Bolivar Hospital. It was a stormy moment for me because all I remember is me entering and leaving the hospital, my despaired mother, and the boring in my body. As I was so young, the burn covered my entire chest and stomach and part of my inner area of my left leg. Although the burn was second degree, it was not so marked. However, there it is. A few years later, we were already living in Aguachica. I was in kindergarten. I remember that day there was a radio in the classroom for an activity that was carried out with the teacher. The break bell rang at the vast majority of the children went out to play. The school rule was that none of the children were left in the classroom. So I sat at the end of the classroom and put my hand on the door of the classroom. As there were several children in the classroom, they closed the door to avoid being scolded for not complying with the regulation. Due to this disorder, they didn't realize that I was at the door, and when they closed it, they bruised my fingers, especially my pinky and right finger of my right hand. I just listened to the music and the shouts of the children who played during the break. I tried to knock the door to be opened with my left hand. There was not even a word, nor a teacher, nor anyone thinking about it now. It seemed absurd to me. I spent the 15 minutes of that break crying and knocking the door, until finally the break bell rang again, which indicated that anyone was going to open the door. When the teacher arrived, she immediately took me to the hospital. My little finger was very affected. There was a risk of losing the first phalanx of the finger. They called my mother because she was in San Alberto for business reason to ask her if she authorized the surgery to remove that piece of the finger. As I was so young, I was very scared. My hand hurt and I was out. My mother refused their request and they told her that the finger was possibly has mobility problems. So many years have passed and the finger didn't show mobility problems. Only a part of the finger was left without flesh and the nail grew curved and downward.